Hello and welcome back to the Name Shifter Den. Today we're gonna be doing a bit of a different building than what I'm used to. You'll have to excuse the shaky camera work. You see, a couple of months ago we were building a thing for Build Battle on the Hypixel server. And my buddy and editor Eric has made a delightful little squid structure utilizing a light bulb as sort of a shape for the squid itself.
Flashback.
But I don't like the execute. What on earth? Why is this a squid? Why is this a
I don't
squid?
know.
Oh hey, it's me.
Hope you like.
I built it.
Okay, this one is cute. I love it.
Why did you build a wait, that was you. Why did you build a squid?
I don't know. I didn't got any other idea.
I kind of want to draw that now. Or build it. A light bulb squid.
End of flashback.
And that inspired me to create this lovely little monstrosity that you're about to see in front of you. Of course, then the idea evolved even further via the introduction of a bunch of different things, such as terrain and some of the bits of the terrain. But for now, let's focus on the squid a little bit. I decided to build the creature with both the light bulb as well as the electrical socket from where a bunch of wires are going to be coming out of in all the different colors, you know, red and blue as is the expected colors of the wiring, but also the yellow for the grounding wires that supposedly exist. I'm not an electrician, I couldn't tell you for a certain, but I've seen those in movies and TV shows and stuff. Here I am built in a little bit of a terrain. The terrain is not going to be particularly big. The layout itself is very reminiscent of the clay mosaic stuff that I've just realized I've yet to actually properly showcase. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that I am doing a bit of a terrain by hand. It's small enough to where I can afford to do that. I find that shallow sort of gradual rise in terms of the terrain should be the way to go for this particular thing, because it's meant to be a bit of a seabed, if nothing else. I continue to work on the sea floor as well as some of the individual sea rocks, and taking a bit of a detour as far as, like, you know, looking around the thing, seeing whether or not it looks alright. One of the bigger inspiration that came later down the line about this entire building is basically the theme of pollution, which is where a lot of the elements will come from that you will see in a second. These, for instance, are meant to represent both the coral reefs that are, you know, this sort of bubble-esque, almost tube-like structures, as well as the batteries that you often find. The dead tree is obviously just a dead tree, and this little structure is rather weird. The seaweed is kind of just meant to be like plastic, like bags and stuff, and this is supposed to be an allegory to a bit of a marine life with like sea hedgehogs. I picked a sea creature without knowing the English translation for it, as I often do. But yeah, I made it out of a discarded paintbrush, created some more seaweed using the white plasticky blocks, again meant to symbolize like discarded plastic bags or maybe something of a sort. I also decided that the wires on the squid are a bit too vibrant for the overall feel that I wanted to convey with this build, so I replaced them with some more appropriate stuff, such as mangrove, prismarine, and yellow bamboo planks. I then decided to go ahead and add a bit of a waste river running down the ravine between the two shallow plateaus. I think that that is turning out alright, especially considering the fact that I don't really include a whole lot of terrain into my regular day-to-day building stuff. I think that it looks acidic or toxic enough to where it's actually a fairly good mix with the, generally speaking, gray and monochrome feel of the rest of the building, the squid itself notwithstanding. I am still a bit miffed that Mojang wouldn't add like a green block to contrast, sorry, not to contrast, to blend between the bright lime and the green hues of the terracotta. I think that if we were to get like a pastel green or something of a kind as far as like building blocks are concerned, so say for instance things like slabs and stairs and whatnot, that would be really cool in the future. My final addition, or at least one of the final additions, is this thing. I am very hesitant to call it a battle. I think that it's just... It's meant to be a battle, but I don't think that I quite nailed the shape, which is rather unfortunate. Regardless of what it is definitely spewing a lot of the acid into the terrain and the water of this entire thing. I then go just do a small once over with a bunch of stairs and slabs in order to blend in the environment a little bit, to make sure that everything looks a bit more, I guess, transitionary, so that it flows a bit more naturally between the various layers of the blocks and whatnot. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this building is turning out. And I am really excited to start making a new one. See you in the next one.